I'm Big Will, your guide to the fascinating world of expats in Panama. Welcome to our brand new show, The Real Expats of Panama. Whether it's the bustling streets of Panama City, the serene mountains of Boquete, or the sunny shores of Coronado, expats here have a story to tell. Through this show, we'll explore why they chose Panama, how they've built their new lives, and what it's really like to be an expat in this diverse country. Every episode, we'll dive into the real life experiences of these expats, their joys, challenges, and everything in between. From cultural shocks to heartwarming integration stories, from finding a new home to building a community, we've got it all covered. We'll bring you up close and personal with the expat experience, uncovering the rich tapestry of life in Panama. So whether you're considering a move here or just curious about life in this part of the world, there's something for everyone. And now it's time to meet our very first guest. Most of you will already know her as she is a YouTube star in her own right and has been featured on this very channel before. You may know her as a broad ability, a very brave world traveler and citizen of the planet. Please join me as we step into the life of my good friend and sister, Miss Aisha Niang, who's going to share her unique journey and give us an inside look into her life here in Panama. Welcome, Aisha.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to be back. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking. Life is beautiful. You know, as you may know, we just did a little move recently, so we're still getting adjusted, but things are going swimmingly.
I know all about those moves.
Yes, you do. We're going to get into that, but very first question. What inspired you to move to Panama, and how long have you been living here?
Okay, so ever since college, I've always wanted to live in another country. And during COVID, I had a lot of friends that lived in like Italy, Jamaica, the Bahamas, all over the world. And I was watching how their governments were handling COVID versus ours. And while most of my friends in the US were working from home, I still had to report to the office. And I was like, why am I risking my life? And why am I doing all of this for a job who could fire me tomorrow and I'm risking myself? So I was like, life is too short. And I started looking at places that potentially I could live in based off of my heritage. So I researched Senegal, Jamaica, and Panama. And Panama had an easy visa process for Americans. So I had visited Panama twice before. My grandmother's from here. So I always felt like Panama felt like home, and I always felt comfortable here. So as soon as Panama opened their borders during COVID, I flew, whatever. I just got here as fast as I could.
Swam, took 2 ducks.
Everything. Right? And just started looking, and I haven't regretted it.
Are you dreaming of a new start in the heart of paradise? Panamazing Tours brings you the ultimate guide to making Panama your new home. Our Panamazing Relocation Guide is your first step to a seamless move. Packed with insider tips, real estate treasures, and essential connections to local healthcare providers. We've got you covered. Download now and dive into a wealth of knowledge that'll make your transition smooth and exciting. Whether it's for a fresh start, retirement, or the adventure of a lifetime, let our guide help you find your new home. Visit us at panamazingtours.com and download your Panamazing Relocation Guide today. Your dream life in Panama awaits.
And how was that process when you first came? You came during COVID, right?
Yes.
So that had to present some.
It did. So Panama was extremely strict with COVID, and when I came, Panama City was on lockdown. So I flew in, I think on a Friday, and weekend lockdown. So I was not allowed to leave the hotel. What I liked about that was it was in your face. This is what it's like to live here, and I got to experience my truly first lockdown, and then going to different parts of the country. I realized, okay, it was just Panama City that had the weekend lockdowns. Like Coronado, Gorgona area might have done the flip between men could shop on this day and women could shop on the other, and that was different for me. That was an adjustment, but it was worth it. Go ahead.
Excelente. I was just saying excellent. So let's talk a little bit about location. Now I'm about to show a short video of the neighborhood that you live in, and while we do that, I want you to talk a little bit about the neighborhood, the general area that you're in Panama, and why you chose this location.
Okay. So I live on Avenida Balboa. I've lived on both ends. I chose this location because I love the views. I mean, I just love unobstructed views of the water, the bay. I can sit on my balcony for hours and just look out and reflect on my new life in Panama, the old life that I left in the U.S., and it's just been very therapeutic to have these water views. So I chose this area because of the water views. And when I first moved further down the block, I liked the neighborhood. There was a lot I could walk through. It was kind of easy for me to navigate, having cerebral palsy. This side of the block isn't as easy to navigate, and it's noisier, so you have to pay attention to where you are on Avenida Balboa. Like this side is like a party. I'm not a partier, so it's been an adjustment. It's been an adjustment.
No, wait a minute. Full disclosure. So she moved to the side that me and Sonia lived on for a while, and look, one of the questions that I'm advising people now when we have our calls is to ask your real estate agent or whoever's helping you out, is this on a parade route? How close is it to Carnival?
And does the parade start or end here?
Exactly. How many celebrations do you get along this block per year? So they like to party.
And is this the spot where they set off fireworks frequently? Is it right here, or like 3 blocks down?
Very important. Very important. Very important for those early morning fireworks displays when you don't know the holiday's coming. But I'd share your opinion of the neighborhood. It's just definitely a fantastic place to be. So let me ask about expectations versus reality. How did your expectations of living in Panama compare to the reality that you've experienced?
So this is my first time living abroad, so I didn't really have many expectations. I kind of just came, wanted to experience it, and I just threw myself into it with minimal expectations. I did, I guess, have assumptions or expectations about expat communities. And I wasn't, I had to learn how to navigate those. But other than that, I think Panama's exceeded my expectations, which were really low. But there are definitely adjustments. I'll say there are adjustments. I didn't really have any expectations.
Good. And since you brought up the expat community, let's talk about that for a quick sec. So, how do you connect with other expats, and how has that influenced your experience?
So I would say even before I moved, I was in a lot of Facebook groups. There were some WhatsApp groups. I think you added me to one of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Some other people did. And then there were just a bunch of expat groups that I would join. So you kind of like get to know people that way. Every time I would visit, I might reach out to someone and we would meet up for lunch or dinner. I think we met, it was the week of my birthday. I think I met you and Sonia. A mutual friend was like, "Oh, he's like staying where you are," and then we all just met. So it was really social
I think
media.
I know I was eating some kind of foreign-looking fruit that looked like it was gonna kill me.
I tried. Had I known.
Right. If you'd only known, spike it. The fruit was wonderful, by the way. Robert Town. It was absolutely wonderful. You know. I was like,
so
what is this?
I know. You were like, blame abroadability if I die.
Exactly.
He was wrong, y'all. He was wrong.
Exactly. I had to leave breadcrumbs. I had to leave breadcrumbs just in case. I was in a foreign country. You know, my wife would be wondering what's happening.
So it actually helped tremendously to have some sort of built-in community here already before I moved. So even though I moved alone, I didn't feel like I was alone, if that makes sense.
Okay. And, you know, you mentioned earlier about maybe not expectations of the expat community, but just having to navigate some things there. Care to elaborate on that a little bit, or?
So I think there's an assumption that because we're all expats, we all are similar. And we all moved here for the same reasons. But we all moved here for different reasons. We all have our traumas, we all have our life experiences, we all have things we have to work through, and we all have different personalities. So I think we forget that when we first move abroad, because you can feel isolated, and you're like, you just instantly want that community, and you might trust some people, or sometimes it might feel like high school all over again. There can be drama, but I feel like it's far and few in between, and I feel like overall the expat community here has been extremely helpful, extremely engaging. And it's almost like since we were helped, we reached back to help someone else that's coming in. And then I love that about the expat community here.
Agreed. I feel a lot of that love. I just saw some of it today on one of the WhatsApp groups that I started. With a gentleman that wanted to come and ask for information about where to live, and then somebody else asked about the schools. Okay. So seeing people reach back and help give back, it's tremendous, and I really love seeing that out of the community. Any cultural adjustments? What were some of the biggest cultural adjustments you had to make when you moved to Panama?
Cultural. The acceptance of noise.
Didn't expect that one, but yes. They party. They party hard. And you need to be ready. Like, I thought I did too. I thought I was a partier. I'm not a partier.
No. We're toddlers.
Right. Look, I got 10 picnics under my belt. And I'm tapping out. What was that? Did you hear that?
I can't hang. I can't hang. So that's been an adjustment. I think this one's personal for me, and I know some people kind of go back and forth with me about it, but it has been an adjustment for me environmentally. It's very hard. Since Panama is so small, it's a small country, you tend to see more of the environmental impact more often, and it's kind of more in your face. You know, in the U.S., it's a bit more spread out. You might see trash here or there. In Panama, you might see a bit more where it's piled up. So I think that's been an adjustment for me.
Okay, that's valid, very valid. Let's switch gears. How has your lifestyle, your day-to-day lifestyle, changed since you've been in Panama?
Okay, this is going to be different because I'm not working a full 9-to-5 job. So I feel more relaxed. I feel like I have more freedom. I feel like I pretty much can do what I want when I want. And that is so liberating and just so freeing. I thought I would travel more since moving to Panama, specifically Panama City, because it has 2 airports. And I've only gone to 2 countries in a year and a half. And I really thought I would have been done with South America by now. But I think because I now live in paradise, and because I'm not grinding like I was in the U.S., because I have more like peace and tranquility now, I'm not running for a vacation. I'm living a vacation.
That's powerful.
So I think that's something that I didn't anticipate, but that I'm loving to embrace.
Let me ask this. This is something that Sonia and I noticed ourselves. Before we moved to Panama, when we would travel for vacations and go to nice tropical destinations, DR or wherever, we always felt that dread. You know, two days before having to leave, like, oh man, this is almost over, and we got to go back to. And we don't feel it anymore. Now when we leave Costa Rica or whatever, it's just like, oh, okay, well, we'll be home in a second. Yeah.
But it's something we didn't think about, right? Like,
did not see that coming.
Everyone's always like, I want to go home. And when they say they want to go home, they want to come home to Panama. Like, a lot of us don't look at the U.S. as home anymore.
Right.
And that's something I didn't anticipate.
Not seeing the U.S. as home?
Yeah. Like, it's home, but like, we're all like, we can't wait to go home, and home is Panama.
You're right. When we are home in the U.S., we can't wait to get back. Yes. Holly agreed. We're trying to plan a trip back now. And it's not the same as planning a vacation was when you were in the U.S. You were excited about going. You were excited about going to Jamaica, and we're about to hit Jamaica in April, I believe, to visit family. They're going to Jamaica, so yes, we're going to get some jerk and all that good stuff.
Some real jerk.
Y'all, there's a whole story behind it. There's a whole story behind the real jerk. But yes, the real jerk from a beach, from a God speaking, patois and all that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
let me tell y'all, but he wanted to argue with me about what jerk is. Who's the Jamaican on this? Who's Jamaican?
I mean, who's that boy?
Like, who was wrong? Who was wrong?
I will only go about, says jerk in a bottle, says jerk. It might not be good jerk, but it's jerk. It qualifies. It is a picture up in the dictionary. That's my whole stance. But the whole traveling thing is funny that you bring that up because love the family and love going to Jamaica. We've had a ball in Jamaica, but I honestly just was like, okay. I mean, other than the music and the jerk and everything else, I pretty much have everything here. Or more focused about going to new places. Like you said, I shared the thought of would have thought we would have done more in South America by now because it's easy.
Yeah, right there.
It's right there. It's right across the border. So, but hey, Peru. Let's do Peru in the next 3 months, and get some food. Maybe go up the mountain or whatever. You've been to Peru already, though, right?
I've been. Peru, Colombia, and Brazil.
Yes.
Ooh. I've been there. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Colombia. Say that again. So, you know what? I'm gonna put this question in there. I struggle with it because I'm so anti this question, but there's some people that they're going to know. So, do you feel safe living in Panama, and have there been any concerns regarding your safety?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I moved here as a single female, and I have cerebral palsy. So let's just put that out there. Mm-hmm. I don't think I felt unsafe once. I'm really trying to think of a time where I felt unsafe. There have been times where I've been aware, but I think that's just training from the U.S. and growing up in New York City or living in any major city in the United States. You're aware, so you may scan the area or whatever, right? But I've never felt scared or unsafe. In a year and a half. So
when you hear loud pops, you don't jump, you don't.
Well, when I first moved here, I was jumping. Are we jumping or ducking? I think I was ducking, right? Like it was like, yeah. But again, that goes back to that trauma. Like, yes, people don't consider that trauma, but it is.
It is.
And so, it's like we hear pow pow, fireworks. My first thought is not gunfire. My first thought is not a mass shooting. My first thought is I'm about to die.
No.
So no, I haven't felt unsafe. Even during the protests. Now I felt uneasy during the protests. This last one, just because it felt different than the one I'd experienced the year before. So this last one, I was like, But again, I didn't truly feel unsafe.
All right. And for those who've been on the channel for a minute, you probably saw some of the videos I put out of the protest. And, both of us live on Avenida Balboa, which was a main thoroughfare that they wanted to shut down and meet on and congregate and have speeches and rallies and all that good stuff. So, on a daily basis, we were seeing hordes of Panamanians come by, and it starts out with you hearing the bullhorn, someone yelling things because you don't know what they're yelling. At least I don't. Did you understand any of the stuff on the bullhorns? Your Spanish is a little bit better.
If I hear it now, I could probably say some of it along with them, but I just remember them like down with blah blah blah. It was hard to.
Down. Okay. See, I just learned
that.
I just learned that. So yes, here's a good one. Community integration. How have you integrated into the local community, and what challenges did you face in this process?
Have I integrated? I have? Okay.
More so than a lot of people. More so than a lot of people.
I don't know. Even though I'm an introvert, when need be, I can be friendly. So I feel like a smile goes a long way here. And I feel that, I will say for me, when I'm meeting people or whatever, even though they know I'm American, I will let them know, for example, that my grandmother was from Cologne. And that sometimes I think is like, oh, okay, like mi familia, tú eres de Colón, tú eres de Panama. I think it helps break down some of those initial walls that people may have. Even though I think inherently we all have some sort of walls, I feel like Panamanians and other people that live here have been extremely friendly, extremely helpful. extremely warm, and I don't feel like it's been hard to incorporate myself into the culture here at all. I have friends from all over. If you're willing to speak to people, people are willing to speak to you, and I think it's great.
That's the big piece. You have to be open. You have to be willing to speak and listen to what they say. But I credit you for helping me get a better understanding of the local community. And for instance, you remember when I was thinking that everybody was Panamanian? I was like, Aisha's like, no, stop and ask. Stop and ask. And now I do. And it goes just in this act of asking, I've noticed it goes an incredible long way to establishing a good rapport with that person, because, I guess they realize I'm cognizant of the fact that you might be from someplace else too.
And people are proud of where they come from. Yeah.
Yes, they are. I mean, I'll say DC with a little bit of pride. I was running out the U.S. and still am. Hey, people, if you need help getting out the U.S., I got you. I know it's coming. But the people, the Venezuelans, the Hondurans, the Nicaraguans, El Salvadorans, the person who helped us get in this apartment was from El Salvador. And I remember the smile on her face when I realized that she was El Salvadorian. She was quite happy to talk a little bit about the place. And I understood her because her Spanish was, was a little bit different. You want to talk about that for a second, maybe? The language barrier. How have you worked? Has it been an impediment to you? Are you finding it easy to navigate?
I don't think it's been an impediment for me. But so I'll practice Duolingo every day. Almost every day.
Kick my butt.
Almost every day. I took Spanish in high school and college, but that was so many years ago, I don't remember it. I think, a lot of people are like, oh, you don't really need to know that much Spanish. There are people that speak English here, or you could use Duolingo. Duolingo, no, Google Translate. Google Translate's your best friend, but the only time I would think it would be an impediment is in an emergency. If you have to go to the hospital, or you did something, the police says blah blah blah. I don't remember any Spanish. I'm like, ayúdame, lo siento, pero no hablo mucho español. Because in those moments, it's like
right.
And you don't know those words. I don't know how to say my blood type is, or this. I wouldn't know how to navigate that. Oh, there goes Molly. So even with the pet, speaking of English, like.
Yes.
My cat was really, really sick, like on his deathbed. And thank God that the vet spoke English, because I wouldn't know how to communicate everything that was wrong with him if I could not use my phone and Google Translate in that moment.
Right.
My cat would not have gotten the help that he needed. But I feel like those moments are so far and few in between. I have not had any issues. Like, I can't think of one.
One small thing I'm happy about is I'm now able to say I don't have the words for this in Spanish.
How do you say that?
Oh, no tengo las palabras para esta conversación.
I'm going to test you. I'm always going to test you.
Right, on the fly. And I'm going to keep that in here because I did well. I actually did all right on that one, but I feel you on that. I've had some health care. Y'all told you having to get epidural shots, and I'm telling the woman I know how to speak hotel, I know how to speak restaurant, I know how to speak bank. It's like, but no habla medico.
You left out food. You left out food. You know how to speak food.
And then she hit me with that big needle. So
yeah, those needles. And I got my first butt shot here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah. Switching gears a little bit, advice to new expats. What advice would you give to someone considering moving to Panama? Oh, wait a minute.
Considering moving to Panama or in Panama?
Considering. Someone who's watching this right now and they're on the fence, or maybe they're in the beginning stages of their journey.
I would say,
Hey,
Molly, the person that's on the beginning stages of their journey, I always say visit. I think you have to visit and really, really do your due diligence with your research. I think you need to understand why you want to leave, where you live, and what you're looking for. I think a lot of people during the pandemic were like, I just want to leave, right? I don't think they fully thought about what they wanted when they got to where they're living. Some people are like, all right, like I wanted to be below the hurricane belt. I wanted an international airport. But I feel like a lot of people are still bringing some of their issues from the U.S. here. So the first thing is to really understand why you're leaving. And I think Panama has almost something for everyone, if you're open to it. I think if you're open to it, you can find a lot here.
Agreed, and there's people coming here from all over the place, not just the U.S.
No.
You know, a lot of South Americans are coming here to get a change of life as well. And we're all looking for something. So, future plans. Do you plan on staying in Panama long term? And why or why not?
What's long term to you? You know, I have to quantify things. I'm an engineer. What's long term?
You know, let's say 10 years.
Ooh, 10 years. You know, it's funny. If I didn't have my pets, I'm not sure if I'd want to be committed to one country. I think it would be the first time in my life where I didn't have any responsibility. And I might consider like country hopping. I would consider that. But I don't see me leaving Panama. Like right now, I don't have any plans to leave Panama. It is my home right now, and
right. There's nothing forcing you. There's nothing saying escape.
No, that's not even a word for me here.
Yeah.
Like, no. I just, as weird as much as like I'm such a planner, I'm almost day to day here. So thinking 10 years down the line, I'm like, that's so far. I don't know. I can't think past tomorrow. Like, it's like, you know, I'm joking, but that just seems so long. But I have no plans whatsoever. I love it here, and now am I staying in this part of Panama? Probably not. I might bounce around, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
And isn't that the beauty of having freedom like this?
It is. And I don't think, that's one thing I don't think I anticipated. Like, people move around a lot. And I think in the U.S., you know, once you reach that American dream, you're kind of settled, right? You have the house, you have the mortgage, whatever it is. So I rent here. So I'm just like, well, if I don't like it, I'll try a different part of town. 1 or 2 years. Okay, let's try another part of town. You know, and it's no big deal. I'm not moving an entire house.
Exactly. The trappings of the American dream.
Yeah, the trappings. Yeah.
They sold us as the dream when, you know, I think the dream is actually business ownership, but that's a whole other video. That's a whole other video. So, would you care to share any information about your channel or updates, or, you know, just anything that you want the folks on my channel know about abroadability and all that good stuff.
Why don't you describe my channel?
Oh my goodness.
So, do we want to say the Marsha?
Right. Don't make me tell that. Those folks are so nice. Don't make me tell that.
No, in general. Just in general. Yeah.
Okay, so look, we consumed the channel as we were preparing to move here because we were looking for all things Panama. We wanted to see who had what to say about Panama, and this channel, her channel, was one of the few choices of people that look like us that were speaking about Panama at that point in time. And there was a vibe that I caught from her channel and her videos. Her presentation is stellar. I learned a lot. So I'm a nerd, so I like being fed information. Just keep feeding me, and she's really good at that. And then her eye for photography and videography is actually stellar. So truth be told, my channel has gotten better because I've been trying to imitate her. As I go out and about with my camera, I'm like, what would Aisha do? There's a kid over there playing with a puddle and a ball. Let me go take a picture of that because that's so nice.
Aw, thank you.
Right. Or my favorite move. There's a man walking by and I need to video him. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this way and just wait for him to get to my. Because my stupid butt, I'll go right up to you. I'm the Scooby-Doo of this thing. I'm just out here having a good time looking for Scooby snacks.
No, that's funny. So what y'all don't know is I asked him that for a reason because I knew this was being recorded. So I was taking the opportunity.
That's funny. You wanted this on tape? Delete.
I'm recording it too. No, I'm kidding.
The whole episode's gone. No, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Look, give them their flowers while they're here. Give them their flowers.
We joke around. Like we'll go out to eat to places, and I've been like frequenting them much more than he does, and all this stuff. And they're like, Big Will, and I'm like, I'm here too. Like I don't exist, y'all. But no,
she has groupies too. Don't let her fool you. She has people. Content.
No, I appreciate it. So my channel is called Abroadability, and I discuss becoming an expat, living in Panama, and traveling the world from the perspective of someone that has a mobility constraint, like cerebral palsy. It's not the main focus, but I will inject my perspective here and there from having cerebral palsy. So if you have a disability or a mobility constraint, or you're concerned about aging and what it's like to navigate Panama, I touch on that in my videos. I'm starting to change some of the content a bit. Panama is still going to be the main type of content, but I'm experimenting with different topics, like dual citizenships, like driving around Panama. I'm going to the Bahamas in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to get back to showing some of my travel content. So I'm really, really excited for some of the new types of content that I'm going to be providing for people. But the base is still going to be Panama.
Yay! Are we lucky about that?
Yes.
Yeah, we're lucky. So thank you so much for joining us, Aisha. I really appreciate you opening up and sharing a bit of your life for the folks out there, for the few people that follow my channel.
I appreciate you having me again. This has been fun.
Not a problem. And look, I look forward to many more adventures. So let me do some housekeeping on the channel. Folks, thanks so much for watching us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please think about supporting the channel. All channel members here get 10% off of Pan Amazing tours and excursions. So you want to come down and hang out with us at Isla Grande and Isla Mame and hang out with Jorge on the boat and chill, 10% off. So let us know. We absolutely love taking people up there. It's a really good time. And hey, look for more of Real Expats in Panama in the future. We're going to be bringing a lot more expats here and their lifestyles and what brought them here, and showing you a little bit about where they live. So thanks so much for joining us today. This is Big Will signing off. Ciao.
Ciao.